So yeah, I was actually gonna fucking put up one about John Curtin because, well, someone asked for it, but like, I'm a bit too fucking pissed to do that one justice. I think I should do that one sober, just out of respect for a great man. This one, I'll fucking let's talk about the Eureka 13. Again, everyone, you know, every Aussie, well, most Aussies know the whole Eureka Stockade story, right? Like, bunch of miners, got fed up with buddy with fucking what was going on in the gold rush, like how they were being fucking treated and like taxed and fucking having to pay for the diggers licenses and that, and fucking and fucking went to a stockade and fucking had a shootout with a bunch of fucking colonial soldiers. But a lot of people don't actually seem to fucking know the story about the actual like legal battle that took place afterwards, right? Like, so they actually got 13 of these blokes, and they were fucking putting them through court and charging them with high treason and fucking. I will just rehash some of the fucking nitty gritty there. So with the whole thing with the diggers and whatnot, it was specifically the diggers licenses that they had to have were fucking exorbitantly expensive and fucking to the point where it was like basically it was like 3 out of 4 weeks of a month worth of fucking pay that they'd be pulling out of the ground. They were having to pay to the fucking Victorian colony, to the crown, right? Because it was the crown's gold in the first place. And yeah, so fucking they used to suffer, and it wasn't just an immediate thing. Oh, we're being charged too much. No, it wasn't just that. So colonial forces, colonial police in Victoria used to go on what was called a digger's hunt. This wasn't the official term for it or anything like that. This is just a colloquial sort of fucking going on diggers hunts. A diggers hunt. Like, they were fucking basically going around, they were fucking, storming into fucking these folks' tents and whatnot, or fucking getting them while they're out on the fucking fields. And if they didn't have their digger's license on them at that exact moment, they were fucking beating the fuck out of them and locking them up, and then beating the fuck out of them some more because they could. You got to remember, these are the days when the fucking coppers were just the best behaved fucking convicts at the time, kind of thing, right? I know it's still kind of like that, but still. Um, and so eventually, after that, and the fees and shit they're paying, they'd had enough. They'd had a fucking gutful, and a couple of hundred of them fucking, you know, built a stockade at the site, the Eureka site that we all fucking know today out near Ballarat. And yeah, fucking have at it with a bunch of these fucking colonial fucking coppers coming on another diggers hunt. And that's the thing; those coppers were there for a digger hunt, like, and yeah, so they ended up apprehending a few of them, and the ones that they apprehended, they were, again, as I was saying before, they put through court, and they were charging with high treason. Now, out of the 13 of them, the two most important ones to bring up here is the leader of the whole thing, or the supposed leader of the whole thing, Timothy Hayes. He was the ringleader, the one that actually fucking got them to burn their diggers' licenses and like, right, boys, let's go fucking dig this hole and build a stockade. Let's fucking show them what for. And got the fucking wives and shit to make the Eureka flag that we know now. You know, white cross with the fucking blue background. That, yeah. The other one that's an important one to bring up is actually a runaway slave from the Americas, and there's, part of everyone's brain's got a mental image of what that bloke looked like, and yes, that is what that bloke looked like. A runaway slave from the Americas. And yeah, so the the prosecution at the time, right? I can't remember the bloke's name, but he was really big during the anti-transportation movement, which was the original "fuck off, we're full" kind of fucking argument, right? And he turned around and was like, fucking, I want, Hayes is the first one we want to go through, right? Um, and basically the defense at the time, they knew they didn't want him to go first. They knew who they wanted to be putting on that fucking stand first and trying to get off first, because they knew if they could get him off, the rest of them would be getting off. And it was the runaway slave from the Americas. An African descended bloke. The fucking smart ass fucking Irish bugger that was the fucking defense fucking lawyer in this particular case. Fucking, he was smart. He knew that there was a certain prejudice that everyone in that fucking room was gonna have against this fucking bloke, and so he's filled him in. He's just like, look, bro, I don't want to be the racist prick, but like everyone else is. So here's what I'm thinking, right? Like if you play dumb, I can get you off, and if I can get you off, I can get all the rest. And that sounds a bit weird. I don't mean it like that, but yeah, fucking that's basically what he fucking did. Like, and old mate, fucking happy to play along. He's like, fucking sounds like a good idea, because despite their racist thoughts at the time, bloke's obviously a fucking smart bloke. And anyway, so they get him on the stand, and basically, like, he's just acting like fucking like an idiot, like a monkey. They're getting him to act like a monkey, fucking scratch his head and fucking, I don't know, like kind of fucking bullshit, right? And the prosecution, like, he fucking saw through this. He knew what the stunt he was trying to pull, and he even tried to say as such. It's like, you really, really expect us to believe that this man didn't know what he was doing, this, that, and the other, and it didn't fly. They couldn't nail him with high treason. And so fucking they got him off. And then the same argument took place over the next all the ones leading up, right? And they get about halfway through them all, fucking because they keep wanting to get Hayes on the stand, and fucking they get the next bloke off. They get the next bloke off. So not guilty, not guilty, not guilty, not guilty. And eventually, fucking old mate prosecution bloke fucking puts his foot down, and he's like, "I will have," and this is a quote actually, fucking, "I will have Hayes and no one else." That was what he fucking said to the fucking yeah. And so he gets his wish, and they put Hayes on the stand, and fucking, funnily enough, fucking the whole argument that was being put forward a lot of the time was whether or not fucking they were burning diggers' licenses, because that was the important part. Whether or not they were, because what made it high treason was that they were going against the crown, right? The burning of the licenses and the flying and the under a flag other than the English one, right? Now, the argument that was brought up against that was, hey, old mate, you're a part of the anti-transportation movement, and I believe that you flew a very, very similar flag during that movement. Was that high treason? And fucking, he scoffed and I was heavily a supporter of the original fuck off we're full movement, rah rah rah, and fucking, because that's what the original anti-transportation movement was. That was the original fuck off we're full. I'm sorry, but it was. Yeah, fucking. But anyway, fucking, and then the other part, the diggers' licenses, and he did try and frame, because they actually did the whole. It's just like it's like, all right, everyone's not 100% sure, but they're pretty sure that it was diggers' licenses that they were burning, and because everyone's like, it appeared to be, all the witnesses and stuff are saying it appeared to be diggers' licenses that they were burning, and fucking they got Hayes to pull out his digger's license in there. Now, they tried to frame that as like, oh, he burnt something that looked like his and he got everyone to burn it. It just makes him a hypocrite. They tried to frame that argument, but it didn't really work. The jury still ended up finding in favor of the defense in this particular case. But it was funny. It was a moment there where, towards the end, like just before they actually sent the jury off to go and make their decision, the actual magistrate overseeing the case, he gave an opinion. It's not. It's something that there's nothing that says they can't do this. It's just not something that they did a whole lot at the time. But he gave an opinion, and that opinion was that it was not guilty. Now, some of the people I know that know this story, they look back on that and it's just like, oh, it's just proof that what they were doing was right. It's like, no, like if they were to try and get them with anything else a bit smaller, they probably would have succeeded. And those blokes would have spent the rest of their fucking lives in jail. But they wanted to put them up on the gallows, so they went for high treason. That was the thing that they were going for. And there was a couple others that they could have gone for to get him on the gallows too. But that was the one that they were committed to doing. They were going to get him for get these folks, these 13 blokes, for high treason to set an example. And that's where they went wrong, because that was a really, really difficult one to prove, especially given that their argument wasn't necessarily anything like that. Like, they weren't like, fuck the crown, this, that, or the other. They were, fuck you guys for fucking trying to take advantage of us. And, coming and fucking, beating the fuck out of us and throwing us in a cell because we don't have a bit of paper. Their gripe was more with the colonial police than it was with the crown. And, yeah, like, that whole fiasco and eventually led to the Victorian, like, the colonial government having to fucking, like, actually fucking, funnily enough, with both blokes, the bloke that was the lawyer for the defence and the prosecutor bloke, both of them were actually a part of, in fact, I can't remember which one of them, but one of them was actually the head of the government that actually fucking, and I'm pretty sure it was actually the prosecutor bloke that ended up fucking, being the one that, but yeah, fucking, I might be wrong there, but yeah, so they ended up changing away from the diggers' licenses and they gave miners' rights. And the miners' rights were a little bit more clear cut, fucking, it was a bit cheaper as well. And the other part is it gave them squatting rights, which is where some of these yubbos get the whole. That's actually where squatters' rights comes from in this country. That whole fucking spiel that you hear from fucking sovereign citizens and all those fucking kooks. But yeah, fucking, they had squatters' rights, so they could actually settle unclaimed land, like crown land, and actually fucking make a home for themselves out of the fucking, the shit that they'd fucking worked hard to pull out of the ground. And yeah, that flag that they flew in defiance of the colonial police would, end up getting flown again. Another time, fucking people with more tried to take advantage of people with less that were working harder than they were. And yeah, fucking the rest is history. But, I always found the legal side of that to be really fucking interesting. There's actually a thing on the ABC. They did a 3-part series, and one of the 3 parts actually covered the Eureka 13. It was a good watch too. But yeah, fucking the other two, the Mile Creek one and fucking stuff like that, like, pretty fucking dreadful shit there. But yeah, no, Eureka 13. It's a story we don't fucking tell enough in this country, because it's arguably more of a significant thing than the actual stockade itself. But yeah, fucking Timothy Hayes would end up fucking off up to Queensland, funnily enough, and fucking starting another family, and kind of just fucking drops off the grid there until he eventually kicks the bucket. I'm not sure if his grave is visitable, but if it is, it'll be in one of those fucking pioneer cemeteries you have all around the fucking joint. But yeah, that's it. I will get to the John Curtin story when I'm not so sloshed, because alcohol did kill that bloke. I'm not about to fucking put up a video about him while I'm on the piss. I'll fucking sober up for that one, just out of respect for a fucking good man. Whereas all them diggers, it is respectful to fucking be sloshed and telling their yarn, because fucking, would they have it any other way? Cheers, cans.